There's a discussion among the Kabbalists as to how we get 10 spheres. And one of the Kabbalists, 12th century Kabbalists, said that as soon as you have space, you automatically have 3 dimensions, and within 3 dimensions there's the beginning, the end, and the middle, and then you have the center, which is the content, which fills all 3 dimensions, and that's how you get 10 spheres. Some of the classical Kabbalists say that space is composed of six dimensions, and then there's time, which is before and in the future, and then there's the origin and the end result, and that's how you get 10 spheres. Whichever way you use, it was discovered early on that one circle can create 6 other circles. If you use a compass, using the radius of the compass from that 1, you could bring out another 6. And the concept of 7, 1 starting another 6 and creating a continuum of 7, is found not only in geometry, it's also found in music. And when you begin to examine the works of the inner workings of the person's soul, the person starts off with the right shoulder, left shoulder, the heart, the right kidney, left kidney, the genitalia, and then the mouth, which communicates all of the various components of the emotions and needs of the person. And so, whichever way you discuss the concept, but the number 7 is considered sanctified and holy because the number 7 expresses all that existed before. The number 7 is communicative, the number 7 is holy. That was the way it was in the traditional world. And when you go through 7 weeks, 7 times, what we're saying is that every emotion has within it the other 6. Every point, every radius can create another 6 of its own. So every emotion can create another 6 facets of that emotion. So when you run through the gamut, you start off with kindness, which is the right shoulder, and you say that there are 7 expressions of the right shoulder. There's kindness of kindness, and then there's the expression of kindness, which is the last of the 7. And you go through the various weeks, like this week, we are in the process of Netzach, of victory, of determination, which is important not just to carry out your emotions, but the concept of victory, of Netzach, and glorification are said to be the kidneys, the points at which the person has the strong feelings that allow the person to carry on. But Netzach and Hod are also said to be the sources of prophecy. All of the great prophets connected themselves to what is called Netzach, victory, and Hod, glorification. And so we're going through that process in order to be able to deal with people, in order to be able to be a master of yourself. You have to understand how you work. You have to understand what are the limits of how you work, what makes you uncomfortable, and how to go beyond those limits. What things, what challenges make you, with this for example, uncomfortable and unwilling to go ahead and to go further. And that is a gut check. You have to look at your own netzach, your own determination, to see how far you will go and how much energy you will expend in order to reach your goals. There are people who have extremely powerful senses of victory, even though they themselves have very little intellect and very little love and very little content. But they're so determined to win that they will beat you just because they want to. And so you have to look at yourself and see just how determined you are, how much you love winning. And you don't have to beat the other person, how much you love overcoming your own limitations. And some of the limitations are just how determined you are in order to help someone. Sometimes it's inconvenient. Somebody needs a ride, and that takes you out of your way. And you say, no, just find somebody else. That's a limitation on your kindness. That's a limitation on your determination to help another human being. And you have to go through your emotions. Now, obviously, if you go to an extreme, it's going to be destructive. But there's so much that people are self-indulgent upon in their own emotional capacity that you've never ever tested to see how, I've never tested to see just how I work and how little I can tolerate. It makes me uncomfortable. And so the process of the 7 weeks is to go through each characteristic and to see just how much enjoyment we have, just how much we have become attuned and used to doing certain things in a certain way, and we've allowed ourselves to become limited by our own emotions. And this is the process of Yetzias Mitzrayim, going out of our own bounds, going out of our own feelings, first with dealing with others, dealing with yourself, and dealing with God. In every one of these situations, just how strong are you? How developed are you? How much love do you have? How disciplined are you? How much compassion can you feel? And above all, how much you have in reserve to be able to overcome the challenges that face you. And these are things that are necessary in every facet of life. These are the things that we have to change between going out of Egypt and receiving God's great gift, which is the Torah.